One. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon. All.
Hello.
How are we? Matty boy. Congratulations. 160,000.
Yes, Behold.
Congrats to the TXG community.
Absolutely.
Congratulations to everyone who got us there.
Another
Very cool.
lovely milestone. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Every time there's another new 10,000 or so.
It's nice when it
Significant.
flips over, isn't it?
It is.
Big weekend.
Yeah, that was fun to watch.
It was good. What, did you catch much of it?
I watched, I got a lot of it on the radio, I would say Friday, Saturday. And then I got the first part of Sunday on the radio, and then the last part,
You watched it
watched it
down the stretch.
Yes, watched the whole thing down the stretch. Great to watch.
Morikawa is something else, isn't he?
He really is.
He's an artist when it comes to the way he plays and dissects a golf course and goes about it, plots it. It just
So
just
few
takes
mistakes is what I noticed. All those 3-woods. I don't remember him really missing a fairway by more than an edge with the 3-wood.
Yeah.
And then he did hit a couple drives, but I think he kept it minimal. And then the irons. I mean, I know he pulled a little bit that one iron near the very end that went in the hay, hits that great shot, makes that 10-footer. So, I mean, maybe you can call that the one blip.
I know.
But other than that, the iron play and the ball striking, I guess is what the stat is, was just crazy good.
It's crazy good. I mean, I think he put himself in two spots. I mean, obviously 4 under. He was 4 under yesterday.
4 under was
4
his
under
finishing
bogey,
score.
bogey free, 4 birdies. I mean, 2 holes where he looked like he could drop a shot and hold lovely putts.
The putts, I think he did what a major champion does, right? You got to make those 8-footers once in a while.
Tiger was obviously, became renowned for that clutch putting, when it really mattered. And I mean, he plays the game very differently from Tiger, but there's a lot of Tiger-like qualities to Morikawa.
I think from the irons in, for sure. I think he plays off the tee differently than Tiger did and does. Although, to be honest, new Tiger, once he's back from his injury, will probably play a lot like that, kind of the fade, careful fade off the tee. And that's kind of what he was doing prior to as well at the Masters. But no, you're right. I think the crazy field lapping iron play, the really good short game, and the clutch putting is basically what got Tiger all his wins.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Chambly, obviously he's very reliant on strokes gain stats now.
Yes.
When he's putting his argument out there, and I watched the pre-game on Wednesday night, and I think they basically said, like, if Morikawa turns up and has an average putting week, he will win.
Is that what they were saying?
Yeah, that's what he said. He said he will win if he has an average putting week. So
it was a good call.
Yeah, it was a great call, and obviously, we're going to get in at some point to talk about his irons and
we just
things
filmed
like
that. Yep, we just filmed a little video about that. I think that story, we won't spoil it because we did film a nice little clip about it. But I think that was really cool. That change right before the Open started. He was at the Scottish Open, noticed something, worked with the team, and that could have been one of the many factors that ended up getting him the win.
And wasn't it so, you see one extreme to the other. Bryson is standing up there on whatever it was it Thursday? Thursday?
It was after
Thursday's round. And screaming and crying about his driver.
I couldn't believe it. I can believe it, but I was still like, are you kidding me with this?
He's not happy with the driver, this and that. Yet Morikawa was taking an entirely different approach to playing the game. Just dissecting the golf course. You didn't need bit by bit.
And they said you didn't need to hit it long.
No,
I know they said
never
7,100 was the listed full yardage.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, on a day-to-day basis, the tees move, the pins move.
Yeah.
He's getting plenty of rollout on his 3-wood. He's not the longest hitter.
Yeah.
But he was hitting most of his tee shots 275, 280.
Definitely.
And he's such a good iron player that from 195, he's comfortable. He's going to hit it to 20 feet half the time.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. They couldn't have been further apart in approach.
Yeah.
And probably an attitude as well.
That's the other part, isn't it?
I just couldn't believe he would. He's got to know better than that. And I understand once Bryson calmed down, he makes the statement. Sometimes I have trouble controlling my emotions, but it's like, dude, you're standing in front of a camera crew. Everyone's going to hear this.
Yeah.
And how hard Cobra's been working and how much work they put into the driver for you. Yeah. That's kind of on their part. They're not going to sell any driver like that. No one's buying that driver.
It's not to shift any units, that's for sure. And he's going to have to go and stand in front of those people when he gets back to the West Coast.
Yeah.
There's going to be a room full of employees at Cobra who are going to look at him and go, "Why did you do that?
Why'd you do that?
Why did you drop us, throw us under the bus like that?
After everything we've done for you."
Exactly.
I know.
Exactly. So
I saw Brooks make a little comment. I thought that was funny.
That was quite funny.
Drove it well. Love my driver.
Love my driver.
And he's not even sponsored by TaylorMade. He doesn't give it.
Yeah. He's sponsored by anything to do with Bryce. Anything but Bryson.
He's sponsored by the banter.
Yeah, so I know it was good though. I mean,
how about that weather? I almost texted you did you ever live for a day like that?
A week of it. I mean, they literally had unbelievable weather. I think a lot of people really hope for bad weather during the Open Championship.
I don't personally.
I do not.
I don't. If it's one day, fine. Or if it's windy. But the way that course looked with all the fans and the sun shining and everything, and guys don't have waterproofs on, they can make fuller swings. I find. Yeah. No, I think it was great.
Did I ever tell you the Shigeki Maruyama story?
I don't think so.
So a few years ago, probably 15 years ago, when my friend Larry Watson was working for Titleist, Maruyama came up to him when he was playing on tour, and he said, "Mr. Watson, I love coming over to play the British Open, but why don't they play it in the summer?" And that was a genuine question. Why don't they play it in the summer?
What's the problem?
Yeah. So he doesn't know that is the British summer, 15 degrees and rain. Man.
I know. Well, the funniest thing I heard was it was at one point it was 21 Celsius or 75 degrees. The announcers are going, now they're issuing a heat warning for the patrons just to make sure there's no heat stroke issues. Yeah. I'm in the car, I'm dying. I'm like, that's room temperature. But hey, it's all relative. Life is all relative.
That is exactly it.
But that was a great Open. I think one of the best I've seen in a while. I was cheering for Louis because I've been saying it for weeks.
Yeah,
I think
he was your pick.
I think he played great, but he didn't do what Colin and Spieth did on Sunday. They shot a few under.
Yeah.
He wasn't making putts. He hit it okay. I think Louis hit it fine. I just don't think he sunk any putts. So, but honestly, good for him. He continues to he's also just a lovable guy. Like, he's just got a great attitude. And every time he plays and comes in second or third, videos of him potentially intoxicated on a private flight singing on his phone. Like, it's funny.
Too good.
He seems like a great guy.
He does. Yeah, absolutely.
I think he'll get one in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I really hope so. I mean, he's certainly good enough. I mean, I hope he doesn't. He's becoming one of these kind of guys that just seems to save it for the majors, which is fine. He
does seem to, yeah.
But I think there's a habit to winning that is honed on the PGA Tour.
Good point.
And the week to week stuff. And I think once you get down the stretch, I mean, you just kind of see that in him, that he's not that little bit just to get over the line. It's not a physical thing. It's not a swing related thing or ball flight. It's just that little bit of a close. Anything now in majors, you can have a John Ram come up and hold those putts like he did at Torrey and take it away from.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He really put it on Louis, but he's going to have to kind of get stronger as tournament goes on
and finish it off.
Not go the other way. He starts strong and then fades a little bit.
No, I think that's totally fair. Yeah, we'll see what he does with his schedule. I know he does have kind of the lingering back issues, so I wonder if that's why his schedule is more limited.
Yeah,
and I know he likes to spend some time at home, but
yeah.
Anyway, he's good. He's always a good story in majors. I saw so many memes. It's like death, taxes, and Louis in the top 5 of majors.
Yeah.
Those are like the guaranteed things in life.
We love it. So, guys, hopefully you enjoyed it as well. I'm sure you did.
I think people hopefully did.
Yeah.
It's great to watch.
Let's dive on into the questions.
Shall we start with Brandon there?
Mr. Trotter's got a good one right out the gates.
Hello.
Hey, Brandon. Brandon plays the new Accra Tour Z RPG 462 M5, which you may see a video on later today.
Sitting over there.
Brandon has that in his driver. He has your shaft that you play in your driver in his fairway wood.
That's right.
Pro 2.0 Tour spec. And he has Morris 120X in his irons. What wedge shaft at 1 inch over. Thanks as always. Brandon, I mean, I think if we're talking gap wedge, I'd probably stick to a 120 X, same as your irons. Keep that similar, and then you maybe want to look at weight and stuff. Bend profile a little bit when it comes to the sand and lob wedge. I'd maybe recommend the 125 as a slightly different profile, and that softer tip to the 125. So dive in there.
Yeah, loved it. Nice and easy. This is a good question, I think. Alex is saying, how much faster in miles per hour, and we'll be approximate, would a golfer who kind of mishits the ball a little bit, still hits it decent, but probably isn't diming the center, versus a player who really smacks it out of the middle? Like, efficiency we can measure in here.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the time I joke with people I play golf with, like, I get away with getting a ball to the green a lot because I've got the club head speed for it. I'm not necessarily hitting it super solid, whereas I do play with people who do hit it super solid and they can hit it almost the same distance. What do you think that, if we were to give it an average, I mean, if somebody's 6-iron is, you're a 90-mile-an-hour 6-iron guy, and you hit it perfect, or you're a 100-mile-an-hour 6-iron guy, but you kind of hit it all over the face, you probably need to swing, 7-8 miles an hour faster kind of thing to
make up to make up for the
something
loss.
like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, about that, I think the modern irons are doing a better job of kind of protecting the misses from a ball speed perspective.
That's a good point.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that gap is closing a little bit. I mean, you know, when we started working with GC Quad, and we can see strikes that are not perfect but are delivering close to perfect numbers. That's when we know the tech is really working for people.
That's true.
So,
and that might be a way, Alex, that you make up. I'm assuming you're asking for yourself and not the opposite, but yeah, more forgiving iron that has ball speed across the face. I know Callaway's been kind of chiming on about that with theirs this year.
Definitely.
So something to try.
Yep. Lots of questions today. This is great.
It is. To you there, if you got one now.
Steve is asking, do we have any experience with Jumbo Max grips?
We do.
We have a video on it, Steve. Jump back into the archive.
We have at least one.
We have at least one. I think we might have done a couple.
Yep.
But jump on in there. Steve's asking, at 105 grams, how badly do they affect swing weight? Well, some of them are heavier. Some of them are not.
We did the ultralight at one point.
Yeah, we done the standard one that doesn't affect it. So, I mean, obviously, heavier grips do affect swing weight, but you just have to try that and see if it's something that helps you. There's a lot of people out there that argue that counterbalancing actually helps when it comes to the balance of golf clubs. That's their opinion. It's not my opinion that it helps everyone. I think if it helped everyone, then the OEMs would have caught on to that and they would sell it as a benefit to the consumer.
Good point.
But I do think that it's good for some people, and a little bit of a taster session to whether it's good for you is what's needed.
Very good. Okay, from Garrett. Garrett is asking if we have any plans of testing the new Sub 70 driver.
I'm sure we will.
I'm sure Sub 70 will send it to us.
Yeah, the guys are great.
They're very good. And if they're listening, go ahead.
Send us it over. We'll give it a try.
Yep.
Andre is asking, do we have any club fitters we would recommend in Norway?
We do.
Mr. Tom Horley is who we would recommend in Norway. Our friend at Miklegard, I believe. I've butchered that.
That sounds familiar.
Highly
I'm glad you said
probable
it first,
there's a butchered that one, but Miklegard Golf Club, which looks like a beautiful spot. Tom does an incredible job. He is brand agnostic, has the same fitting system as us. He is a TrackMan user, outdoor ball flight. Really great experience.
He's a good lad.
Norway's finest.
Yes. From Kevin. Kevin is gaming a Sim DHY with an RDX Black. Performance is okay. Feels terrible. Oh, I don't like that. Any recommendation for a low launching driving iron shaft that doesn't feel boardy? Okay. So we want something that does not feel like an RDX Black. That's interesting.
I mean, I quite like the feel of. I guess it feels subjective, but I think a Tensei white tends to feel a little bit better in my opinion.
It's always a good kind of mid-range in terms of feel. Like you don't tend to offend anyone in either direction with that one. I don't think. No,
definitely. You've got Ventus Blue now is a good option. I think you've got Graphite Design DI, which is another nice option.
Yep.
Those are pretty good in terms of feel.
Can't go wrong with any of those.
Yeah, I think one of those three would be quite nice.
Kevin, go for a demo of at least two of those. See what you think.
C-Bar123, best questions to ask before an indoor wedge fitting. Outdoor is not an option. It's good. It's a really good question.
Definitely.
Obviously, you want to have different brands to try. You're going to want to have different sole designs to try. I think having a couple of different golf ball options wouldn't be a bad to throw in the mix, because obviously, the golf ball selection is more weighted towards the wedges and putter than it is towards the longer clubs in the bag. So making sure your performance matches the golf ball that you play, I think would be very important.
I would agree with that. Absolutely.
When it comes to the 60 or the lob wedge, don't be fully focused on distance. I almost never ask someone to hit a full shot when it comes to those. Those are more about the specialty shots, little chip and touch shots. How does the club pass through the strike area when you open the face and things like that? Does it give you the versatility for your shot selection?
That's kind of those are the on-course situations that you're going to actually use the wedge for.
Exactly.
Okay. I've got one here from Adam.
Okay.
Adam swings the club mighty fast.
Fast man.
Okay, so he's looking to move from MB101s. Are those mirrors? to T100s or TCBs. So would he have any issue bending T100S? I guess I'm assuming 2 week.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not, right?
No, not have any issue.
Fairly steep.
Would not have any issues.
130x for spin. So I think the first thing you'd probably say is that the shaft's not going to change the spin all that much.
Not too much. I mean, X7, is quite a bit stiffer than C-Taper 130X. So spin rates they'll be tight to one another. Will be more than 200 RPMs in it. So golf ball will make a bigger difference. Loft will make a bigger difference. Looking to move from MB101s to T100 or TCB. Yeah, both two great irons. I mean, TCB is really nice, but T100 has a little bit more tech in there in terms of the tungsten and the kind of sole. So, a bit more forgiving, but two fantastic, really good looking heads.
And that T100S is the one that you've said if you bend it a bit weak, you can get rid of that offset.
Get a little bit of offset.
That might be a nice one to go with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
A couple of people asking when the store reopens. We are open. We are open for business.
Open.
Not today, but
it's closed today.
Closed today, Tuesday to Saturday.
Yeah.
Regular hours.
And email us anytime.
Anytime. Yep. info@txg.ca. And if you're on the list and you haven't been contacted yet, the list is several thousand people deep. We are working our way through it. We have as many bodies as we can allocate towards getting through it. But if you haven't been contacted yet, I saw a few people complaining that we have not contacted them yet and calling us some bad names.
Hey, nice.
We're working our way through it. It's not easy. Not easy.
No.
Nothing about this whole thing has been easy.
This has never happened before, so.
Yeah. If there's ever any time to show a little patience, it would be now.
Agree. A few people asking about these mysterious Mizuno Pro 221 irons.
Uh-huh.
And Justin Rose had them in the bag. Yeah, good call. Are they coming to the U.S. and Canada and Europe, or they are going to be a Japan thing? Because it's got kind of that script writing, and the first thing I saw was Japan only.
Yeah.
But we probably can't say.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
But
we can't say.
We can't say, but it won't be Japan only.
All right. Well, you did kind of just say. Perfect. That's all people wanted to know, I think.
Yeah.
That's all people wanted to know.
They are coming. We can't tell you when. We can tell you where. It will be here.
Yep.
But I think we'll be. As soon as we are able to say, obviously we'll do what we do and get Vosh in and we'll chat about it and all that sort of stuff.
Sounds great.
Did we talk about the STG?
We touched on it briefly last week, but not in detail.
Yeah, good to see a few more. Good to see a few more pictures of that and people chatting about it. Look good.
Oh.
Look really, really good.
Ryan Barath made a post, didn't he? I think I saw a story or something on his page.
Definitely.
Grab one there if you like, lads. Something you like.
See what we've got. Daryl Reed. I recently got fitted for a Ping G 425 Max. I came out of the famous Edge package set. It literally took the fitter, Pro, 25 minutes too fast. It literally took the Pro 25 minutes too fast.
I think he's saying his entire fitting was 25 minutes.
That would be a short one. That would be a short one, I would say. Sometimes depends on how many options. Obviously, the fitter has at their disposal. I mean, there can be some times in here where within the first 2 or 3 clubs you give someone, all the stars align. The ball speed, the launch, the spin, the player feedback, it all falls into place. Well, I mean, we're not going to sit and look at each other for the next.
It's true. You'll hit some different shots and maybe try something else.
And then we're basically going to wait for it to get worse and then talk about why it got worse.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's just that's the nature of some fits. Your fitter, that may be in the case, Darryl. I don't know, but 25 minutes. If you had lots of options and you weren't fully optimized, it would be too quick.
Right. If you were super happy, then you might have saved yourself another 30 minutes of nonsense.
Definitely. That's good. Andre said, great. I just came home from Mikkelgard. Actually, I'll give Mr. Hall a call.
Perfect.
Good.
What a fine connection made.
Very cool.
All right. From Mike. Mike is asking if a better mid-season investment for a 20 handicap who's had no formal instruction, lessons or a fitting. So he's a 20-plus handicap. It's the middle of the season. He's never had either. Where do you think we send Mike for a little bit of his spending money this year? Mid-season's tough.
Mid-season. I mean, I think the likelihood is you could get an instant boost to performance, Mike, in terms of changing some clubs and optimising. And we manage your misses a little bit better. We fix a couple of things. I think the long-term ROI will always come from working on your swing and getting yourself technically more sound, understanding your golf game a little bit more. I think, I'd probably like you to take a long-term view. If you're 20 plus handicap, you're going to want to try and get that down into the teens and below at some point. You're not going to do that and sustain it unless you improve your golf swing. So I'd head and get some lessons. See where that takes you. If there's something that can be extracted from the launch monitor in terms of your delivery, that may lead into some tinkering with your clubs, but I would go do some swing work first.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Fair enough. Okay, another one here. Goal Crease Guardian, a hockey player. Has AP2 and CB combo set with Money Taper 120s, all 1 degree flat, and that's a nice set of clubs.
Yep.
Long irons are a big draw, short irons are not. How can I get my long irons more neutral? Okay, so he's got the long irons moving quite a bit in a draw shape. They're all 1 degree flat. Does he go flatter?
Yeah, you certainly could go flatter.
From like 5 iron down?
Yeah, I would say so. I think again we're just talking about understanding your golf swing. Yeah, I'd be sending you in to kind of go for a little gapping session and see why that's occurring.
Good point.
Is the spin axis tilting too much because the spin loft is narrowing more than we would like it to be? Do we need a bigger change between the angle of attack and the loft? Do we need to address the golf ball situation? Is it not spinning enough?
Good point, because naturally you're always going to hit more shape on a long iron versus a short iron just from the loft itself.
I know, so exactly.
You definitely need to get in there for a little fit, but it's possible that flattening the long irons might help.
It could do.
It might be a Band-Aid, but it might help. Right?
I know. Yeah. I mean, I certainly do. If and when I ever play a driving iron, I have to go 1 degree flatter than my iron set because I just don't like to see it turn over.
Yeah.
And then that's a Band-Aid for the shot I don't want to see.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yep.
All right, to you, lad.
Ryan K is asking what happens when you bend a blade or cavity back strong. Any lie changes? Yeah, not it's different axis. Obviously, lie axis is up and down. Up and down the shaft axis, and then we're talking loft. Yes, that's what changes bounce basically. Ryan, changes bounce and offset.
Gotcha.
So
that's an offset.
Yeah, when you're bending them stronger, you will add some offset and you will reduce some bounce.
Oh. Lovely. Okay. From Ollie, my new G425 Max spins at 4,500 RPMs. Too much. In a stiff shaft, only goes 240-ish. Any suggestions on a driver that spins a lot less but still forgiving? Okay, good question. So yeah, that's one of the higher spinning heads out there. Whatever loft he's in, he probably needs to come down one and then switch heads, I would say, right?
Yeah, I mean, even if those strikes are low in the head and the ball's gearing up an awful lot, I think something like a Sim 2 or Epic Max LS, another good one. I think both of those heads would deal with that miss much, much better.
And if let's say you're in a 10.5 Ollie, you'd probably recommend he'd be a 9 degree guy and even in the different head, right?
Definitely.
You want to shave 2,000 RPMs. It's quite a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
That is an awful lot. I mean, the good thing is, Ollie, any one of the heads we suggested will be an immediate improvement and quite an increase in distance. I mean, if anyone walks in our studio and spinning the driver at 4,500, we're licking our chops and going, this will be fun.
Here we go. Yep. Oh, that's very true.
It will be good.
Right.
All right. What's going on? Just had my last comment on my film. Let's see, Walter's got a question in there for Matt. Oh, Corey's saying, you boys looking cute as hell today.
Oh, thank you, Corey.
You, Corey.
Thank you. Aren't you a beauty? What a beauty. Making our day.
Love it.
I saw some Walters. We'll find what Walter had.
Let's see that there. My GF green adding a second set. Okay, my girlfriend greenlit, so gave him the green light to add a second set of irons.
Yeah.
So I can leave a set where she lives when I visit. As a high handicapper who is getting better, what is a good game improvement set that my game can grow into? Game can grow into as a higher handicap. I mean, are we boring if we say the old Strixon? Maybe a 7. Maybe if you're looking for a second set and you don't want to break the bank, do you go with a set of 785, 585 combos or something like that?
I think you save yourself a ton of money. Those will still last you another 5 to 10 years. Easily.
I mean, they were phenomenal at the time. They're still phenomenal. There's just some kind of upgrades and stuff that, with the sole design that they've changed and the aesthetics of them. But I think as a second set, that's where I'd be spending some money.
Yes. That's for the irons. Like are we doing the full bag for Walter? Nice set. What else would be a good deal for woods?
Set. I think it's an iron set.
Oh, just an iron set. Perfect.
Just an iron
so that's a great one. ZX5 or
7s and 5s.
585s.
Walter, if you're just looking for one, I'd say maybe the 585s.
If you're not going to
combo them, and I still think there's enough to grow into with those if you are a higher handicap.
Sure.
Not exactly how high, but I think the 5s would be perfect.
That's a great idea. Yeah. Wonderful. Where was I? Hold on 1 second. We got Kevin. We got Adam. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. I lost where I was. We have not got this, I don't think. Cobra Forge Tech. No. Okay. Chase. Can Cobra Forge Tech and the MIM Tour be comboed nicely? So 4, 5, 6 in the Forge Tech and 7 to wedge in the MIM Tour. Okay, so let's start with that. Mm-hmm. So we've hit both. The Forge Tech or the hollow body ones.
Yep.
I would say you probably could. You may want to, bend the Forge Tech 1 week to let them sit a bit similar. You might
actually need to sneak one in either direction. You might need to go one strong in the MIM and then 1 week in the Forge Tech if you can get that out of them. The Forge Tech don't move too much, but
it'd be a good looking set though. I think that would work quite well.
Yeah.
And so the last part is really just a question about, obviously in here too, you're fitting off the 6 iron.
Mm-hmm.
How would you do that? He's going to get the 6 iron in the Forge Tech, but obviously the short irons will be something else. How would you address that? If someone asked that in here.
Yeah, I mean you're gonna definitely want to kind of hit them both side by side, and you're just definitely going to want to run through kind of the look, the feel. I would say turf interaction and all those sorts of things.
Yeah, and then your fitter will help you determine exactly where to make. I mean, you may surprise yourself. You may hit the 6 iron of the MIM and go, okay, well, I'm going to keep that as the 6 iron, and then maybe you just get the 4 and 5 of the Forge Tech.
Exactly.
All right.
Grab a cup of water.
Yep. No worries. Find something I can grab here. Questions about that Mizuno G driver. People are asking, is it more of a game improvement driver? I don't think so, because it's low spin, right? Yeah, very low spin. The adjustability may fool people, but no, I think it's more so their kind of low spin monster.
Yeah, I think it's more designed at their tour staff, the Keith Mitchells. I think you'll probably see, who else have they got on tour staff that's been hitting it? They've got a bunch of guys out there. And I think you're probably going to see some non-Mizuno contracted guys.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Like free agent guys?
Yeah, give it a try.
That'd be great. I'd love to see that.
Remember Snedeker jumped into, didn't he?
That's right.
A while back. So
it'd be good if somebody, not that it's everyone's favorite player, but like someone like a Patrick Reed who has, you've seen him with a Ping driver, you've seen him with a Titleist driver. If someone like him picked it up, that might be nice praise for them.
Yeah,
that
it'd
it's
be good.
Good performer, but we'll see.
We will see.
Time will tell. Tom's asking about narrow lefty selection in putters versus righties. Tom, I think you just got to pick a different store. When I look at this wall, there are a lot of left-handed putters.
Yep.
I think you just have to be a little bit pickier about what store you go to. You're not wrong, but when I come in here, I mean, I haven't even tried all the putters over there. There's tons. There's obviously less selection. Always will be, but
yeah, I mean, we're not. We explain this to our clients when they come in. We're not Golf Town. We're not going to have one of everything.
No.
We are going to have one of every style. We'll have a mallet with a plumber's neck. We'll have blades with, a short slant neck and half a shaft of offset, and ones that are face balanced, and we'll have all the different options covered. It's not going to be every single model by every single company, because that's just overkill.
Yep.
For us, and we always send people away if you want to go and jump on the green at Golf Town or PGA Tour Superstore or wherever it is and just hit a bunch, go do that.
Yes.
But we're looking at numbers and performance, and we obviously have a putter matrix that we feel ticks all those boxes.
It's a different animal. Yeah, you're right. Different. You can narrow down your preference at a big store and then come in for something like that.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, lots of chat on the Morikawa stuff.
Yeah, hopefully you guys will like that video. I think it'll be interesting, the sole design and stuff that we talked about.
I think so.
You'll see that this week.
Definitely.
This week. Elliot. A lot of RDX shaft talk this week. So Elliot just put a 70-gram RDX black in his STZ driver, speaking of which. And I draw the ball, but ball now drifting to the right. Okay, is it something I can correct in the hosel? Mizuno STZ has an adjustable sleeve.
Yeah.
You could.
Yeah.
You could. But if it's just your odd miss, it doesn't seem like... I don't know. Would you want to do that for your odd miss? Depends on how odd it is, Elliot. If it's every second shot, then maybe. But you're going to hit miss. You're not going to hit every shot the way you want to, that's for sure.
And you might not like the result of that head closure and things like that. I mean, if you're popping in a 70-gram RDX, probably get on the higher swing speed category. Your high swing speed, we turn the loft up, and you might kind of not like what you see from it. So
yeah, your good shots become not so good.
I would have a look and see why that ball is going to the right like that.
Yeah, get on a TrackMan or something and
try and get some explanation from the delivery.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Matthew McLean is MP18 MMC 4-iron, MMC fly high.
Find that one.
Yeah.
A lot of acronyms in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that a recent one? Oh, yeah, here we go.
That's a recent
Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There it is. Okay, so he hits the MMC 4-iron and the MMC fly high 3 and 4, the same yardage.
Yeah.
Except one goes low and one goes a bit higher.
Yeah.
Okay. But you still want a club between the two, is what it's sounding like to me. So he's got a forward that goes 275. Let's say he hits the 3-iron fly high 230. I'm assuming that's the one that goes higher, but I could be wrong. A 2 hybrid would be what, an 18 degree?
Yeah, most people's 2 it'd be about that.
I'm assuming you're looking for a 250 club right on the nose then, I guess, for Matthew. Does that sound roughly right? You might need one of the 19 degree 2 hybrids. You might not want some of the stronger ones that are 18 because that might start sneaking into 260.
It could do for sure. Yeah, 4 with 275 carry. I mean, an iron gives you a bit of scope to be bending the loft and stuff like that, Matty, which is nice.
True.
So yeah, I mean, I think you'd be 18, 19 and play with it a little bit just to get it dialed in.
Yeah. Try a few different models and see what spin profile fits you.
Yeah. Brian Duchesne, read that as kind of caught my eye there as Bryson De.
Oh, you're like, Bryson?
Who? He's looking for a driver.
He wouldn't be sending you $10. He'd be yelling at you.
That's too funny.
Kevin wants our thoughts on a Mizuno MP20 HMB plus MMT utility as a driving iron. Okay, that's a good idea. So you use the HMB head as a driving iron. Other combinations to look at, he's saying, playing MP20 blades and with Modus 130X for pitching wedge. So it sounds like he's a good ball striker. And likes the look of the HMB, which is a good looking club.
Yep.
I mean, you could. It's not been designed to be a driving iron, but you certainly would get that type of performance from it. I guess it just depends on how far you want to hit it.
Definitely.
It would work, I think, as probably a higher flying kind of higher spinning version of a driving iron. But as you always say, like if you really want a driving iron, like a P7 UDI, that thing is going to give you driver numbers. An MP20 HMB is just going to be a long iron.
It will be
more like a long iron. So that would be the distinction.
Yeah.
But Mizuno doesn't make a driving iron right now, do they? That I can think of.
Just that HMB they make is just that 2 iron. That's all.
That to be,
no fly highs right now.
Yeah, I would try a driving iron from another company at the same time, Kevin, if you can. I think you'd find the flight quite different, and one will suit you either way. It's not what you're describing isn't a bad idea though, by any means.
Definitely. Luke's saying Bryson might be looking for some driver advice after this week. I think Bryson's got all the right people round about him.
Yeah.
I think he's okay for advice.
He just needs to treat them nicer. Yeah. Treat them nicer. I'm surprised because I remember talking to you a few weeks ago, and I saw an interview with him a month or two ago where he was saying, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep pursuing this maximum speed stuff. Maybe I've achieved like the red line, and now my dial back swing is in the 190s, and I'm good to go. But I don't know that he's stuck to that thought. Maybe it was fleeting.
Definitely.
Yeah, no worries. See what I can grab here, folks. Five? Okay, no worries. All right, Joel. So Joel got fit for Apex 19s last year. They're 2 degrees upright. I've shallowed my swing out since then. Okay, so that makes sense. So you were steeper before, so the upright was helping you. My miss is more right than I want, so you're pulling them. You're a lefty. Should I look into flattening the line? Go, yeah, Joel, absolutely. So ideally, try to get on something like a GC quad, but honestly, you'd probably put them back to standard to start with. And if you can, just go hit some balls and observe the ball flight. But if you could get on a TrackMan or something that would allow you to go somewhere that has a bending machine and do it in 1 degree increments, hit a couple shots, assess the ball flight, and make adjustments, my guess would be that going back to standard would probably help you. But I can't know for sure how much of a pull you're seeing, but I would imagine if you had them 2 up and you've shallowed the swing out nicely, go back to standard and see how that is. If you're still pulling it, then maybe 1 degree flat might do. Okay. Jason's asking about ZX7 irons. Are they bad for pickers of the ball? It can be a little bit finicky. Jason, it's a very unique sole design, so it's not a blanket statement. It doesn't normally suit a shallow player, but it depends. I mean, I wouldn't buy them sight unseen. That's probably not the right profile for it. You might want to look at something. A narrower sole is good for a picker of the ball, but not necessarily something that has that V design in there. So again, give them a try, but you're not on the wrong track. It probably wouldn't be something that you would love. Luke asking about those new wedges. Yeah, I saw a few photos of those, Luke. I don't know. We haven't gotten all the specs on the tech. They do aesthetically look very similar. I was kind of looking at my T20s in the bag and looking at the new ones. It looks like there's going to be more finish options, and obviously the graphics on the back are a bit changed. But I think wait for us to do our full test and we can give you a bit better idea. For now, you're right, they do look quite similar, but I'm sure they've made adjustments. I mean, Mizuno isn't one to just kind of just restamp their wedges. They usually have some cool stuff going on year to year. From Matthew. Matthew's asking or saying thanks for the great answer last week. That's great. Okay, you made an appointment with this fitter. Good to hear. Are we going to review the Callaway Diamond Series drivers? I would say probably, Matthew. Yeah, probably. We haven't done it yet. We obviously just did the initial reviews of all the standard heads, but as the year progresses, generally Callaway makes those a bit more available, and I think Ian usually gets at least access to 1 or 2. So hopefully that's something we can squeeze in at some point. Folks, I'm trying to pick ones that I can tackle. Ian's just helping someone out for a couple minutes and he'll be back. Yeah, Kevin, I think, is probably commenting on we were talking 4,500 spin rate earlier. He had a 10-year-old driver, had 30 yards getting the spin rate right. Yeah, not uncommon. That's generally when you see a crazy fit and someone gets 30 yards. It's not that the club was just, newer and better. It's usually that your spin rate or something was just like completely off the planet in the wrong spot, and the new one gets it in the right zone, and you can definitely pick up 20 to 30 yards. There is no question about it. All right, from Kev, I'll do my best on this one, bud. Okay, I want to add head weight, but would I get the same results by reducing grip weight? Okay, so it's a putter, stability tour. You get the same result by reducing grip weight if your goal is to get more swing weight, Kevin. So if you want the putter to have more head weight for impact ratio purposes or just a feel purpose, swing weight is different than adding weight for total weight. So if you want a heavier putter head, you would want to add that head weight. But if you were just looking for the balance of the club to feel heavier in the head, which is a bit of a different concept, then yeah, you could just go with a lighter grip. You could get one of these kind of ultra light grips and you would achieve the swing weight change. So hope that helps. But if you're someone thinking, I want a heavy putter for a purpose, whatever that may be, go with the custom weights. Yes, if you're just joining us, guys, we did touch a little bit on Colin Morikawa at the beginning of the stream, but we actually have a full video coming out this week. You'll probably see it. You got to go? Okay. No worries. No worries. Okay, guys, apologies. We got to cut our live short. We will be here for at least a couple videos this week, and we'll be back Monday for another live. Apologies if you did have a super chat in and we didn't get to it. I know there's only 2 or 3 of you. We'll try to get to it next week, or try to shoot us a message on Instagram and we'll do our best to grab it. Apologies, guys. We just have to run a little bit early today. Sorry for the inconvenience. We will see you next week, though.